like to ask about your understanding in Genesis 1, where first, it was darkness and then light. But light was created days before the sun.
Mhm.
How do you understand that? What's the, because now we can't understand light without the sun. The sun is
Yeah.
the light. So,
It's the light of heaven and the heaven above us that was created. So day 4 is when the sun and moon and stars were created. So there's 3
Mhm.
days things were happening before the sun, moon, and stars were created. And the first day, Genesis 1 says the heavens and the earth were created.
Mhm.
But the earth was still flooded with water. Because remember, we're in a container.
Yeah.
And above us, there's other layers in this container. I try to talk about it like an apartment building. There's 7 floors that the Bible describes, and we're on the bottom floor. And then there's a couple basements that we don't want to go to. But we've been given the bottom floor, and there's 6 floors above us. And the Most High, that's why he's called the Most High. He lives on the top
The
floor.
penthouse.
The
Yes.
penthouse, right? So
Yeah.
on day 1, the whole apartment building, which is called the heaven, was created. So the heaven is not an esoteric, ethereal, undefined thing. Heaven is a structure. The Bible describes heaven, which is the name in Genesis 1, verse 8. Heaven, the Shomayim, is the name given to the structure called the firmament. So that's why it says, in the beginning, created the heavens, plural, and the earth. And then on day 2, he created the heaven, the firmament layer that encapsulates just the earth. So he created 6 layers, 6 compartments on day 1. And the bottom compartment was the land of the earth that was flooded with water. This is why in 2 Peter it says the earth was birthed in and out of water.
Yeah.
On day 2, he creates the firmament over that encapsulates us, which then makes it 7 full compartments instead of 6. And in the bottom compartment where we are, it's still flooded with water. And this is why he says that the firmament created on day 2 separates the waters from the waters. There's still water above it and there's water below it. And then on day 3, he recedes the water so the dry land can appear. And then on day 4, we create the sun, moon, and stars.
But there was a distinction because there was a distinction between darkness and light from the first day.
That's right. So on day 1, he creates the 6 layers above, and that's the day that all the angels are created. On day 1, according to Jubilees chapter 2, as well as Job chapter 38. So angels are called beings of light. God is called a being of light. This is the light of heaven.
Mm-hmm.
This is why in the kingdom of heaven that comes down later, it says there's no need for the sun and moon inside that kingdom.
Yeah.
Because it's illuminated with the light of God.
Wow.
So this is why in Revelation 22, verse 5, it says at the resurrection, you and I, we also become illuminated with the light of God. We're like a walking light bulb if we want to be. So remember when Moses, in the book of Exodus, Moses, after spending 40 days with the angels on the mountain, he comes down and his face is glowing. So the sun's still up above his head, but his face is glowing so bright that the people are afraid of him, and they ask him to put a cloth veil over his face until it finally dissipated over time.
Yeah, he faded.
That's because he was spending time with beings of light. And they've actually done scientific studies as far as how your skin can absorb and then let light back off.
Yes.
Like in a form of radiation, right?
Yeah.
It's very interesting that day 1, this is also in 2 Thessalonians chapter 5, Paul says that it's the kingdom of light versus the kingdom of darkness. Right? So this is God's kingdom, doesn't need the sun and moon. The sun and moon were created to be lights that shine down on the earth.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need it in heaven, above, in the layers where they live above.
No, I
they
understand
don't need
that.
Yeah, okay.
So when the kingdom of heaven comes down to earth, what's happening to the waters above?
And Revelation 21, verse 2,
Yeah.
it says there's no more sea. So that's going to be removed, dissipated. Something's going to happen. It's going to be redirected so that it doesn't flood the earth again. Yeah.
Because I've seen your model directly above us. It's water.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what's still there. Like even after a lot of Christians like to theorize that when the flood happened, that the water was gone after that because it came down in and then it was gone. But even in Psalm 148, which is thousands of years after the flood, it still talks about the waters being above the heavens, right? So this is why the earth is enclosed in water. The firmament that encloses us is itself enclosed in water. This is why the word heaven is the word shomayim, which means in Hebrew, enclosed in water.
Yeah. No, I do believe that there is water, still water up there, because the way we see
Yeah.
the stars also
Yeah.
makes me understand that it's light coming, shining through water.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway.
Have you ever seen Crow 777?
Yeah.
Where he does the lunar waves?
Yeah. And I watched his film. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very interesting theory. It's
Yeah.
hard to prove, but it definitely looks like the moon's sitting in water.
Yes. And all the stars. I'm sure you've also seen the videos of the
Yes,
planets
right.
and
Yeah.
the way they glow and flicker, and it's
Like
as if
lights
it's
in
light.
water.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, if we
Like a
believe
flashlight through water.
it's to imagine the perspective of the stars. So from what I understand from some of the other ancient Israelite texts that weren't put in some of the Bibles, saying that the stars are in the fifth layer of the firmament. And so if that's the case, they still would look like they're in water because we're looking at them through a layer of water.
Yes, that's what I'm
Because the
saying.
layer right above us would be water.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah. It's
everything
our
that we
filter.
see through that, yeah, exactly. It's a
Yeah.
filter. And think about it like this. Think about the power of the sun, knowing that the type of properties are within the sunlight. It would make sense that there's a layer of water between the sunlight and us so it can buffer that power
Mm-hmm.
and absorb that radiating power. So that by the time that radiation is absorbed, because you can squash bad radiation with water. So like it's anyway, I'm kind of going into some other topics, but it's a wonderfully created model. The creator thought out everything for sure.
It is.
Yeah.